If you're a music teacher like me, you have probably experienced a whole range of different kinds of students. Students who love their instrument, they're inspired and motivated, they seek out classical music and performance opportunities any chance they get. And you might have students who like playing, but they don't really interact with classical music or music for their instrument very much outside of lessons. Or sometimes you might have students where their parents are just making them do lessons and they're not excited, they're not motivated. No matter what kind of students you're teaching, having your students listen to music will help them grow as musicians so much. I'm sure you already know this as a music teacher, but in case you don't, it is such an important part of learning music. Hearing good ideas, hearing good musicians, hearing some of the best ways of playing your instrument will help you grow as a musician. You'll just kind of naturally know what to do because you've listened to the great performers. But how do we get the students to listen to music outside of lessons? I find that that's the big problem. Even for some students who are very motivated and love their instrument and love playing classical music, they just don't really listen to it on their own. So today I'm going to talk about how to get your students to listen to music and analyze it and become great listeners. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Elizabeth, and I run the blog Life from the Viola section, where I share my favorite tech for musicians, practice tips, and lifestyle for musicians. Listening is so important for all musicians, but especially for young musicians who are just starting to develop musical ideas and knowing how to perform on their instrument. Listening to music can give a good idea of pitch and tonality. It can help them understand rhythms and even phrasing. Those are all things that we want our students to be great at. Intonation, pitch, rhythm, phrasing. Those are crucial parts of music. And the more that you listen to music, the more those ideas come to you naturally because you've heard so many different examples of it. Listening to music performed on their instrument can also be so inspiring for students. They have someone to look up to. They have great role models in the great performers now. So getting them to listen to those people can be so helpful, and it can really turn an unmotivated student into someone who really, really wants to get really good at their instrument. Listening to good performances on their instrument can really reinforce what students are learning in their lessons, maybe in ensembles and music classes. It helps them really believe in what you're telling them. And that's gonna help them play with so much more conviction and really, really understand music. Okay, so you may have known all of that, but I hope that was helpful if you didn't. Now, how do we actually get students to listen to music? First, you want to start small. Have them listen to just the short piece that they're working on, maybe Twinkle Twinkle Little Star if you're starting way at the beginner level, or if they're working on a movement of a Seitz concerto, have them listen to that movement. It might be like 2 to 5 minutes long. It's not that much of a time commitment for them. Make it easy though. If you have any kind of online portal or way of assigning things online, give the link to a YouTube video or whatever platform they're most likely to actually use. You can ask them, like, if they're an older student, hey, do you use Spotify? Do you like YouTube, Apple Music, something like that? Give them a link to a performance on a platform that they use, and they'll be so much more likely. If they have to search it, figure out what app, type in the title, find a video, those are all barriers to actually listening to the music. Make it easy for them. Next, don't just tell them to listen to the music. I know that's the easy thing to do. You tell a student, okay, we're gonna work on this piece, go ahead and listen to it so you get to know it. But they might not be actively listening to it. They might listen to it and say, hey, that was cool, I'm excited to learn that. But they haven't really developed any other thoughts about it. So try to give them some things to listen to and really latch onto. See if they can figure out what the structure is. Like, is it ABA, rondo form, like something like that. If you've talked about those things in lessons, then kind of tie it to that. Ask them if there are any rhythms that pop up over and over and over again. This is my teaching assistant, Pacho. He loves judging my students. He knows if you sound good or if you haven't practiced. Anyway, if it's an ensemble piece, ask when they hear their instrument. Ask what's going on during rests or during important moments. The emotional aspect is really important as well. How does the music make them feel? Does it tell a story? What might the music be saying or trying to get across? You want them to have really focused listening instead of just passive kind of background listening. So it's great if you can get a student to do this once, but they're going to be such a better musician if they do this as kind of a routine, if they start to just listen to more and more and more music more often. So start assigning weekly listening assignments. It can be music that they're working on, or you could have them listen to like the top orchestral repertoire, like Beethoven Symphony 5, the Four Seasons. Pieces like that are ones that I've assigned to students already. Assign them to listen to important repertoire for their instrument. Maybe the Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto or Rebecca Clark's Viola Sonata. Have them listen to those things and see what their instrument is capable of. See what those great performers can do on their instrument. And that's going to inspire them to try to achieve that as well, hopefully. Not everyone is really into it, but that can also spark a really good conversation. What don't they like about the music? What don't they like about the way this performer plays? That is all important. Everyone can have their own opinion. Just remember that. Some students will love romantic era music, others won't. Some will like extended techniques, some will think that it sounds horrifying. That's just how humans are, so let them have their own opinions. That will help them feel so much more empowered in their music making. Then they can make their own decisions, their own musical decisions, and come up with their own musical ideas. It's so exciting when I hear students create a phrase that I didn't show them already. When they just have a musical idea, they interpret it and they execute it. It is so exciting and so rewarding to hear as a teacher. I think the more that they listen to music, the more ideas they will have. Like, oh, this person phrased something like really dramatically. I could do that in my piece, in this one spot. This sounds really dramatic, but there aren't many dynamics written in. They might feel like they have the agency to do that, and that is so exciting to me. So to help you get your students listening to music and really analyzing and interpreting it, I've created a music listening guide that I use with my own students. I feel like it's geared mostly towards middle schoolers, and I am considering making a version for high schoolers, maybe one for younger students as well. So my music listening guide is available on my website to purchase, and I'm super excited to offer it. I love making resources for my own studio, and I'm so happy and excited to share more of that with you guys. So my music listening guide goes over the title of the piece, the composer, and the year it was written, because I think that's very important information. When I give this to students, I write down the name of the piece and the composer so that they know what they're listening to and can look it up. And I think it's important for them to do a little bit of research to find the year that it was written. They might even find more information just by doing that. It really gets them to look up the piece and learn some things, which is exactly what we want, right? Then I have a little section for students to just describe what they hear. It can be very basic, like I hear a whole orchestra. It sounds exciting. It sounds sad. I hear brass instruments in this one. Whatever kind of observations they have. Then we go a little bit deeper. So what's the instrumentation? What instruments do you hear? What instruments are playing the melody? What seems to be important or not so important? And then I have them interpret the music. What's it about? Can you create a story to it? What's this music telling you? Does it make you feel any emotions? And finally, I ask them to critique the music. What do they like about the music? What do they dislike? They can also talk about the performer as well. Do you like the way the performer did it? Do you not like it? Share any thoughts and feelings that you've got. So just to make that easy for students so that they don't have to have a whole notebook where they try to remember the prompts, my worksheet is really, really helpful for that, because there are questions and just boxes for them to write their answer in. So my music listening guide is available to purchase on my website, lifefromtheviolasection.com. And I've also designed some cute seasonal ones. So there's one for each and every season. It has the same exact questions on it, but it's just a little bit cuter, and it's a fun way to sprinkle just some seasonal excitement into your lessons. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like, consider subscribing to to my channel because I post new videos every other Sunday at noon Eastern time. If you're a teacher and you've found some great ways to get your students listening to music, I would love for you to share in the comments for everyone to benefit from. If you have any questions or would like me to go more in depth about how I get my students to listen to music, please let me know as well in the comments, and I would be happy to make follow-up videos, reply to your comments, and all of that. Thank you again for watching, and remember, my music listening guide is available to purchase on my website, always linked in the description box, and I will see you again soon.